Gratitude trap. What is the gratitude trap? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to talk about the gratitude trap and how it pressures adoptees to feel nothing else but pure thankfulness and gratitude. So, the gratitude trap happens when adoptees feel like they can't express anything other than thankfulness for being adopted. Think about it. Society often frames adoption as something heroic, the savior narrative. I saved you, I'm saved, I'm grateful. And that's all to your adoption story, that's it. Adoptive parents are seen as saviors, and adoptees are expected to feel lucky for being given a home. This mindset creates pressure. You got to think about what a healthy relationship is and what a one-sided relationship is. It forces adoptees into a role where they feel like they must always be grateful, even when they're experiencing other emotions like confusion, sadness, or even anger and about their adoption experience. How does the gratitude trap develop? Social expectations. Society constantly reinforces the idea that adoption is a gift. Well-meaning comments like, "You must be so thankful that you to have been adopted." It can unintentionally send the message that expressing any negative feelings about adoption is wrong. Number 2 is family dynamics. Even in a loving family, subtle messages can create pressure. Phrases like, "we chose you," or "you're so lucky to be here," can make adoptees feel like they owe their adopted parents something, like their constant happiness or perfection. Number 3 is internal conflict. Adoptees often experience conflicting emotions, love for their adopted family, and also grief for the loss of their birth family. Just because you've been adopted does not erase the past losses that you've had. That's what I think a lot of people blame adoptees speaking out their truth is, oh, you have a loving family right in front of you and you still want to think about your other birth family. It dismisses and minimizes the losses, and if you don't understand that you're allowed to have feelings of your own, you can hear these messages over and over again and start thinking that this stuff is true because everybody tells you. And confusion about their identity, but in the gratitude trap, expressing these emotions feels dangerous, as if they might risk being seen as ungrateful or unlovable. Now let's talk about the impact of the gratitude trap. When adoptees feel pressured constantly to express gratitude, it can lead to some serious emotional struggles. Suppressed emotions, they may learn how to hide how they really feel, thinking it's safer to stay quiet than to be honest. Over time, this can lead to anxiety, depression, and even emotional numbness. For me, it led to suicidal thoughts and suicide attempts and binge drinking. Identity struggles. When adoptees are stuck in the gratitude trap, it's harder for them to explore who they really are, to live authentically, especially if they come from a different cultural or racial background than their adopted family. Transracial adoptee, right here. Perfectionism. Many adoptees feel like they need to be perfect, somehow repay their adopted family for bringing them into their lives. This can lead to unrealistic expectations and constant pressure to perform. This is me, like when I was growing up in my household, I'm an infant domestic transracial adoptee. I always felt like, what is going on? Why is nobody telling me what's going on? Because something's not right. I feel really, really weird. I feel what I know now is grief. I felt a sense of loss. This is what I was experiencing, yet I couldn't put it into words because of the pre-verbal trauma. And literally not one person helped me with this. So that's why it's very vital to talk about. The losses and grief in the 7 core issues are often dismissed and denied and misunderstood. Resentment, here's something that people rarely talk about. Over time, forced gratitude can turn into resentment. It is hard to truly bond with your adoptive family when you feel like you're always walking on eggshells. This is literally to help create better bonds with your adopted child. How can you break free from this? Normalize complex feelings. Adoptive families need to understand that adoption is more than just a happy story. It is also a story of loss, and it's okay for adoptees to feel sad, angry, or confused about their experience. The loss of birth family, the loss of siblings possibly. There's a lot of loss that never gets erased in an adoptee's experience. It could be erased by other people, but that doesn't mean we're not experiencing it. Number 2 is avoid overemphasizing sacrifice. Instead of focusing on how much was given up for sacrifice to adopt, families should focus on building relationships based on love, trust, and mutual understanding. Encourage open dialogue. Create a space where adoptees feel safe to express whatever they're feeling without fear of being labeled ungrateful. Ask open-ended questions like, how do you feel about your adoption? And listen without judgment. What do you think about your siblings? Do you ever think about them? And literally don't say anything else, just listen. That would be so important. It would have been important to me, but that never happened. Seek support, therapy, adoptee support groups, and spaces where adoptees can connect with others who understand their experience can be incredibly helpful. Hearing you're not alone can be life-changing, and for adoptees trapped in this this cycle, adoption competent therapists will be in the description box below. The directory. So adoption is a lifelong journey, and while gratitude may be a part of that journey, it shouldn't be the whole story. Adoptees deserve to feel seen, heard, and valued for who they truly are, authentically, loss and love, not just an expectation of gratitude, not just for the roles society expects them to play. Every time I hear an adopted child say, I'm saved and grateful, I literally cringe because I'm like, that's all you are, is your expectations of other people. And it makes me kind of really sad for them, because I'm like, dude, if you just explore and become a little more self-aware, you'll realize you're actually a human being having an adoption experience, not just your adoption experience. Like, you're a real, authentic person that has multiple complex feelings and emotions that don't just go away because somebody else tells you they should be not there. If you're an adoptee, adopted parent, and someone who's wanting to learn more about adoption, know this. It's okay to feel grateful. It's okay to feel something else entirely. The most important thing is that you feel free to be your authentic self. All right. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Hope this helped.